Hello and welcome back to third part. Another update for you. You may have remembered from the last video that I'd started ballasting the track. Well, I've carried on doing some ballasting and I've finished the sidings here at the end of the yard. I got up to there last time, so you can just see there where the changing colour is. That's the PVA glue solution freshly applied. And I also had some green flock scatter and a few fir trees. Now the fir trees are sort of continental outline ones, HO gauge, but a number of fir trees in real life planted up in Scotland were planted after about 1914, I think, and it's something to do with the Forestry Commission that a lot of them are not natural Scottish fir trees. A lot of them did come from Austria, Switzerland, etc. So I think they don't count them all or something like that, I heard. So I thought, well, that's a good little bit of sort of prototype freelancing for me. I can plant some continental fir trees in a line there like that in between the sidings, just to give it a little bit more, you know, colour and variation, and that a nice neatly planted line of fir trees, just to break it up a bit. I thought, yeah, that, you know, that's not unrealistic. It doesn't look like a train set, because I have seen examples of this where, you know, you have sidings and then you know, some plants or trees or whatever planted, especially up in the Highlands of Scotland and that. When I was looking back through my 1960s Scottish region books, there were examples of nicely kept stations and that, with flower arrangements in tubs and stuff in between the tracks and trees. So I thought, yeah, I think that looks okay. Again, the ballasting can probably pick up in between the sleepers. There are gaps. Well, I tend to leave those until the solution is dried and then go over again, and I use a torch. Even though I've got good light in here, you can't always see the gaps, so I go over it again with a torch and then just fill in where there's some gaps like there, and then go over with the solution again. I've put my loading dock. This is a Hornby scaled L covered loading dock. It's actually not bad. I thought about using it as a motor rail terminal, but then obviously I'd have to do a ramp at the end of the siding and I can't fit that in. But I thought it's a goods unloading bay, so if I put it there, my scratch built oil tanks, which need a bit more work on it there, that sort of gradually breaks up the scene going off scene behind the half relief warehouse buildings, of which again I need to do a bit more work on in terms of fitting drain pipes and putting a bit of roof detail on the apexes and things like that. So they're not finished yet either, but that will help break up the scene so trains don't suddenly, you know, appear. They gradually disappear. So I'm pleased with that. So I've ballasted the sidings there, and then coming round here, I've got the dust sheet over today. I've ballasted everything else up to about here, so then obviously I need to carry on going around there, and that will be the next job that I will be doing. I need to get the same colour ballast because I've got a different colour for the main line and the upper level, so I don't want to have different colours in, you know, unnecessarily. I want it to look relatively neat, and that brings me nicely round into a couple of purchases at the NEC, at the Worley Model Railway Show. I was actually quite good this year. I went along armed with, you know, a bit of cash just in case anything, you know, took my fancy, but I only bought a couple of items in the end, and it was just nice walking around. You know, there wasn't anything else there that I wanted, and I just looked at all the layouts and took in the atmosphere, and you know, that's the first time I've done that. Normally I'm racing around like a headless chicken picking up goodness knows how much, but I think I picked up some cork and you know, odds and sods and stuff, and these are the purchases. So both pre-owned, Bachmann Class 37, code reference 32780, and it's the coal sector liveried one, and it's named the Coal Merchants Association of Scotland. This loco never operated up in Scotland. I think it operated around the West Country and in South Wales, and you know, on coal trains. I think it might have been based at Cardiff Canton Depot. However, a bit of modeller's licence, it's a 37, and you know, who's to say it couldn't have been transferred either permanently or temporarily to another depot, you know, up in Scotland, or on loan or something. I like the coal sector livery, that's a good one. That late 1980s that came out. It's an earlier 37, but it's got all the detailing and everything, so I'm pleased with that. And the other thing I picked up was, I've already got one of these but I couldn't resist it, is a Hornby, just wait for the camera to focus again, Hornby Strathclyde PTE liveried 101 DMU. It's the later Hornby version. I suppose it's a reincarnation of the Lemur one. It's R3047 Strathclyde Class 101 2-car DMU, and I saw it on a stand, and I do like these, and I thought, well, I've got one already, but I wouldn't say no to another one. I think it was only 48 quid, which I thought was really good because it's pre-owned, but when you look at it, it's in immaculate condition, so you know, as new, you could say. I've checked the traction tyres underneath. Again, they don't look as if they've been, you know, caned around a circuit, so it's got everything with it. I thought 48 quid for that, that is pretty good, considering that the Bachmann 101 is about 118 or something, or even more now. But yeah, I like that livery. It's Strathclyde Passenger Transport Executive livery, was it, or something, but operated up until about 1992, so perfectly okay for the sort of mid to late 80s period. And yeah, I'm pleased with those. With regards to the rest of the layout, I haven't done a great deal other than the ballasting that I've shown you, because I've been extremely busy, and back in the summer when I started this layout, I sort of steamrolled through and went flat out every night, getting the trap down and getting it to a point where I can run trains. Well, I've been running them, but then naturally you sort of tail off a bit, and you find that, you know, you've got to do some other things as well, and I haven't had as much time as I would have liked. That will change now because you know, I'm not up together with everything, so I want to start work on that distillery over there. So that is one of the jobs that I want to do. Again, I shall probably ballast that area. I should probably start over there where the scenic section comes in, ballast all along there and round into the corner, just round to where the coaches are on the upper level, and then I will concentrate on that corner there. The building over there is actually a Bachmann Scencraft half relief building, but I thought it does look like a distillery. I need a chimney though, that's the only thing. I might scratch build one out of balsa wood in half relief and put it sort of up against that wall there. That LMS lorry with the boiler won't stay there, that's just there for show. The other building is half relief. I scratch built that myself a few years ago. That was salvaged from an old layout, and yeah, I should probably put a mound of either a sort of a little embankment there, or I might make that a little yard, you know, for the distillery, just with you know, kegs with whiskey in and things like that, because there'll need to be some sort of loading area there for the grain hoppers. I don't quite know how I'm going to do that, or one loading facility for the grain hoppers, but obviously you need a loading dock for the kegs and stuff to be taken away and stuff. But I'll try and fit that in. And then the other thing that I need to do again is this corner over here, on the upper level. Now I've got a Hornby Scaledale pillbox, and I've also got a Falla HO gauge castle, which I need to try and figure out how I'm going to do some little scene over there, because I want where the join is in the photograph back scene to the painted one that I did myself. I want that to be disguised, and also the area in front, so I'm going to work out how to do that. So I should probably carry on with ballasting, get that done, and then once that's done I shall I shall start prepping the distillery area and sort of potter about with that whilst doing ballasting in between. And then once all that's done, I'll then start on that corner there. I also need to get some sort of brick paper to cover up the retaining wall from the upper level. And I need to work on my scratch built oil tanks. Those are literally old toilet rolls painted with transfers taken off the internet. Balsa wood for the base, or 2 pieces of balsa wood, where I cut circular holes in the second piece so the tanks would sit in them, and use some bits of balsa wood on the top. And it's not great, it's a real hot, real bodge and leg it sort of job, but I just did it off the cuff, and I thought afterwards, yeah, these aren't actually too bad. I can do something with them. I can, tidy up the top there, put some fencing on it and round, and a ladder and stuff and that. So yeah, I can do that. Some of you may have noticed I uploaded a video on an end gauge layout that I've got up in the loft. Now that is a error-strewn, schoolboy error layout. The baseboards are warped, hence I had to use a number of pieces of cork to put the track down, but I'm persisting with it and I'm going to give it a go, so watch out for that. Thanks to everybody else that subscribed. Thanks to Dean Park Station again for inspiration and that, and I will catch up with you in the next video. Thanks.